RAP students, this is Dr. Smith. I'm here to talk to you again about fractions. Before we get back into it, I want you to do some review questions just to make sure that you are ready to move on. So take a minute and complete these questions, and then we will talk about the answers. Now that you've answered these questions on your own, we are going to review the answers. Starting with question 1, you're going to write the fraction that represents the shaded area in the picture. So we know that with all fractions, the denominator gives us the total number of parts to the object that we're going to look at. And so let's count those. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how many parts we have in all. And now we're going to get the number that is shaded. So we'll count them. 1, 2, 3. So the fraction that represents the shaded area is going to be 3/5. Now on to number 2. We need to first figure out what our denominator is going to be. So the total number of objects are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the shaded objects, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the answer would be 6/8. Moving on to number 3, which fraction is the greatest? So how we figure this out is we can either make a picture. We have the denominator, we have 2 parts. We're going to make the shaded part. There's going to be one shaded part like this. And on the other side, we're going to make 8 parts. And then we're going to shade 4. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just by looking at the picture, we can tell what sign we're going to use. They both cover the same amount of area. So we would say that they are equal. Now, let's go to the next one. You have to remember what I told you about the denominator and the numerator when they have the same number. It's just like if you had a pizza and the pizza had 6 slices and you would be able to eat 6 slices. So how much of the pizza would you get? The whole pizza. So when the top and the bottom number are the same, it equals 1. That's the same as 1. Now, when you have the denominator bigger than the numerator, the fraction is always going to be less than 1. So just think if you had 9 pieces. It's going to be hard for me to draw 9 pieces, but I'm going to try. And 6 of those pieces were shaded. There's no way that you can have more than a whole, because to have a whole, the denominator and the numerator must be the same. Here, in order for it to be a whole, this would have to be a 9, so it's not. Any situation when you're comparing fractions and there's one of them that's a whole and the other fraction is a proper fraction, which means the top number is smaller than the bottom number, you will never pick this number to be the biggest fraction. So our biggest fraction is this one because it's a whole, 6/6. So we're going to draw the little mouth to chomp up the bigger one. Let's move on to the next one. 7/3. So in this case, this number is going to be greater than 1. Let's compare it to the other number. This number is the same way. The denominator is smaller than the numerator. So that doesn't give us a clue. So we have to try something else. So last session, the way that we figured out which one of the improper fractions was the greatest is we drew it, since we're just starting this. So I'm going to make 3, let's call them pizzas here, just in case we need them. Now, you always put the number of pieces that's equal to the denominator. So we're going to draw these each with 3 pieces. There's 1. Now, how many pieces do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do another one. Excuse my terrible drawing here. And so we need one more from down here. So all of these are going to be shaded. Because remember, a whole means that you have to have the same number at the top and the bottom. And so one whole here is 3/3. This one is 3/3. And this one right now is 1/3. Just remember that, because we're going to get more into that. Now, let's do 9/4. So 4 is the number of slices in each pizza. Let's draw another one, because that's 4. And we need 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now this is 8. Or I'll do it so it's not so confusing. Let's say 4, which makes 8. And so we need one more. That's going to be 1. And altogether, that'll be our 9. So this one is 4/4. And this one is going to be 4/4. And this one is going to be 1/4. Excuse me. Let's see if I can fix that. Nope. Okay. So, based on this picture, which fraction is the biggest? You have 2 whole pieces here and 2 whole pieces here. You have 1 piece here and 1 piece here. Do you remember how we're going to decide which one of these is bigger? Would you rather have one of these pieces or one of these pieces? Which pieces are bigger? So this piece is bigger. The smaller the bottom number, the bigger the piece. So because both of them have 2 whole pieces, we're going to get the one with the next biggest piece, and that's going to be this one. So the biggest fraction is going to be 7/3. Now, if that kind of gave you some trouble, you need to do some more practice, because the lessons we're about to do now are going to allow you to leave the pictures out. So if you still need to use the pictures, make sure you understand that how to come up with your wholes before you move on, and that the smaller denominator, or bottom number, gives the bigger pieces. Now let's go over to the next one. All right, so starting off, let's look at 12 over 18. The top number, which is the numerator, is actually smaller than the bottom number. So that's not a improper fraction, that's a proper fraction. It's a regular fraction. So what does that mean? This one is less than 1. Now let's look at this one over here. The top number, the numerator, is actually bigger than the bottom number. So what does that mean? That means that this one is greater than 1. So you don't even have to go through this whole step if you can understand that the proper fraction only goes up to 1. The improper fraction is more than 1. So this one is less or equal to 1. This one is more than 1. So in this case, if you understand that, this is a quick problem for you. Which one is greater? It's going to be the improper fraction. So that is the bigger one. I hope that went well for you. If not, keep practicing and you'll get better.